water, and he's here with us today to tell us more about it. Adam Lazar, how are you?
Good, Chris. Thanks for having me. Nice to be here with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. When we heard about what you guys are doing there at Asa RC, I got to make sure I get that right. So
Dasarasi with an Italian accent. It's a lot
give it
more
to me
fun.
one more time. Give it to me one more time.
Asarasi.
Asa RC.
There you go.
Was that right?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Well, more important than how to say it, man, I want to talk about the story of this and how it came to be. And it is my understanding now that you came across this idea when you were out with your daughter, an afternoon with your daughter. Talk about what led to this thing that's now really helping to shape our planet in a great way.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, it's a phenomenally fun experience when you get to enjoy the outdoors with your family. That was about 12 years ago now. I was living in Vermont, working as a defense in the defense space as a product developer for soldiers, making equipment and helping them protect their bodies from IED blasts, that sort of thing. So armor and optics, and clearly related to sparkling water, right?
Yeah.
And I come across this open house, a Maple Farm open house, and I said to my daughter, who was a few years old at the time, let's go in there and learn a little bit about how they make maple syrup. I had no idea. And I walk in and I see this farmer producing maple syrup products, and he was discharging out of this brand new piece of equipment this pure, clear liquid. And I asked the farmer, what is that? And I just had no idea. He said, well, he explained to me the process, how they produce maple products and how the sap comes out of the tree, and they take the sugar out of the sap and they throw away the balance of that, which turned out to be about 97% of the entire crop. And I looked at him and said, wait a second, you're telling me you're throwing away almost 100% of your hard work after you've taken the sugar out of this? He says, yeah. I said, well, what is it? He says, well, it's just pure water. I said, why don't you do anything with it? He looked at me like I was crazy. He said, well, who would want it? It's just water. And I thought to myself, wow, if we have this wonderful renewable source from plants that's an organic, plant-based opportunity to replace the groundwater table with something that's more renewable and sustainable, could we make a tremendous difference on the planet? And I quickly realized how exciting it was, and I quickly realized how I had no idea how to go about it. And fast forward, I lived in Los Angeles, moved to Los Angeles, working for a company called 511 Tactical, making tactical gear products, again, supporting that, the law enforcement military space. And we went through that epic drought, that 6-year drought. And I realized can one person do to make a difference? And I realized at that moment in time that, yeah, one person can make a difference. And I said, this is the time. And so I sold my house, invested the money from the house and into the company, and off to the races we were. So that's a little bit of the backstory about how we came to be.
Wow. You know what, man? I mean, that's amazing because, again, we all have opportunities to contribute to make our world a better place, but sometimes it's taking that extra step. Like you said, I mean, you leverage the house, you did everything you needed to do to position yourself to be able to do this. But one of the things I like about your story is you didn't just say, we're going to go it alone. When you started this company, you actually opened it up for the everyday Joe who has the same heart and mission of what you have to help save our planet to become a part of this as well. Talk about the investment opportunity that you open up for folks to come along on this mission with you.
Absolutely. I bootstrapped this company for the first few years because if I wasn't willing to invest in myself, why would I expect anyone else to do so? Right. And so I levered my own capital first, which was not a lot of money, but it got us started. And then the need for growing the business came along. So this last year, I launched a crowd equity, SEC regulated crowd equity campaign that basically allows people to invest incremental dollars, a minimum of $100 in our company. And we had a wildly successful campaign because the idea resonated with people so tremendously well that over 3,000 people invested in the company. We raised over $1.07 million, which was the maximum under the SEC regulation, which was 10 times greater than most CPG companies raised. And it wasn't because of this phenomenally wonderful product, which we do have, but it wasn't because of the product. It was because of the idea that we can change the world one drop at a time, one bottle at a time, and that everyone across the planet can participate in this process cost effectively, whether you're a consumer or an investor, and be a change agent in the world. And that was a really powerful story for people because they really felt like they were doing and are doing something positive and they can contribute in their own way. So
Yeah, I thought that was pretty amazing, man. Again,
Thank you.
hats off to you for that. It sounds like you're continuing to do well, even in that space. I want to talk about again the production of this because I think it's easy for folks to, think, okay, it's another form of drinking water, but this is produced in a way that allows us to have it long term, as opposed to some other ways that we're currently manufacturing water in the plastic bottles, things of that nature. You guys also chose to go another route, even in the not just in the production, but also in the distribution of your water. Talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. So when I looked at the industry, there's a lot of problems with bottled water, as we all know, from the destruction of the aquifers to the impurities that you're finding in bottled water, from microplastics to polyfluoroalkalides, which are the forever chemicals, the PFASs of the world that you hear about in the news, to impurities like radon, uranium, lead, asbestos, all these horrible things that come from pollution in the groundwater supply because of mankind's activities, or naturally occurring elements like radium or uranium. And these are all found in every single bottle of water you buy. And so when I looked at this purity level of our product, which only has 3 elements in it besides H2O, which is basically manganese, potassium, and calcium, it's really a mineral-rich, pure plant source product. And when the rain falls in the forest and these trees drink this water, it's essentially becomes a way for the tree to purify any impurities that were in it through it as a naturally living carbon filter, if you will. And so it's a really powerful cycle. Nature really does a phenomenal job if we let it do its job. And so not only is it a pure product for people to discover and enjoy and put something better in their bodies, but it's also about helping these family farms economically advantage these farms in a better way. It's about giving consumers trust and confidence in what they want to enjoy, at the same time advantaging the groundwater supply. So from a glass bottle, which is the plastic-free product that people are looking for, to a more sustainable way of getting the product without the destruction of the aquifer to people, it becomes a great way of leveraging a natural resource that we never considered would actually be a complement to the groundwater supply. And so a lot of governance and regulations happening right now around these big companies taking groundwater supply and limiting their use. And they're all looking at it and saying, well, what are we going to do now? It's a risk to our business, and what can we do to offset that risk? And so that's where we, as not just a bottled water company, but an ingredient supply company, come in. And so we represent over 120 family farms, over 100 million gallons of this byproduct today, as a way to help advantage the family farm and represent these ingredients to any business that is interested in applying this ingredient to their formulations of products. So it's a really interesting business on 2 sides of that.
Wow. As I hear you describe this, and that, again, looking at how water supply and how it is indeed dwindling, I think about the fact that this was discovered by you on an outing with your daughter. When we talk about leaving, the world a better place for the next generation, and then you going the extra mile to do what you've done, what do you feel like personally? I mean, to know that, I am indeed leaving the world a better place for my daughter. And I don't know if you have any other children or not, but in this particular instance, this was discovered with this particular daughter.
That's right. Yeah, I do have 3 girls. And everything that I look at around my life, say, not just how can I be a better person, a better consumer, a better father, but how can I leave the place better than where I found it, right? And it's the same way that I think my prior military training is, when you go into a place, you want to leave it better than you found it. And that's the whole objective, right? Is to bring, goodwill and peace to the world. And so how can I make my contribution in as little way as I can, as big way as I can? And so that really plays a big role in my motivation. And at the same point, we can be an excellent business, and so you can have your cake and eat it too, right? And it really comes down to making the right business decisions that are responsible in every sense of the word, whether it's responsible sourcing, responsible supply, responsible packaging, responsible business decisions, responsible partnerships, everything from working with the National Institute of the Blind to fulfill our e-commerce pick, pack, and ship to basically help, the sight impaired have, better functioning jobs, to, partnering with folks like Anheuser-Busch to create, distribution opportunities for the brand, to really engaging with, 3,000 people that really want to make, change in the world in a positive way from an investment side. We look at all these opportunities as ways that we can help not just myself be a better individual, but how can we encourage people to come along with us? And that's a powerful thing. And that's the reason why, we're here today talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. It seems that you are always mindful of, again, allowing others to come along with you. I guess one of your taglines is, so go ahead and take a sip and not leave a footprint. I thought that was very unique in making sure that folks understand that you can be responsible, even in the water that you drink.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about Asarasi. I didn't say it the Italian way, did I?
I know you said it perfectly. Perfectly. Just minus the accent. It's Asarasi. You can say it any way you like. It's actually the Latin for the maple tree. So any way that
that's exactly where I was headed.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly where I was headed. I was getting ready to say that Asarasi is Latin for maple, and talking about the maple tree. So I guess the question for you then becomes: have you found that this could also be done maybe with other trees?
Absolutely.
Or the maple tree that we can get this pure water from.
There are 22 different species of trees that produce aqueous saps, or very high liquid types of saps, and they typically will have anywhere from 0.5% of sugar or naturally occurring sugars from these sap producing trees, whether that's birch, walnut, box alder, ash. There's 13 different species of maple. Many people don't know that, and even you can tap a coconut palm for its aqueous saps. It doesn't just produce coconuts. So there's lots of different species that can do this. There's a ring around the planet with a deciduous rainforest, which is from the 30 to 45th parallel all the way around the planet, and we can just look at this huge natural resource and say, hey, if these trees are already consuming the groundwater supply and they're transpiring this water through their crown already, can we go in and be responsible forest partners and take what we need, but yet ensure the continuity of that forest? And the answer is yes, with all these different species. So it's a really powerful idea that can transcend just one species, like we talk about in maple, to other areas of the world. So.
Okay, good deal, good deal. Now you guys also have, 5 different flavors there at RC? Let's talk about the flavors and how you guys chose to land on those particular flavors.
Well, believe it or not, I am not a sparkling water drinker, and I started a sparkling water company. And one of the reasons I didn't like sparkling water was because the bubbles were too big and they burned my throat, and I didn't like the flavors. They tasted very chemically to me in all other products that I tried. So the mission was not just be plant-based, but be organic. And that gives people that trust and confidence once again. And it helps me give my children something that I can be proud of. And so we source not just our waters, but also our extracts and our flavorings are all organic, USDA organic certified. The beautiful thing, we put a small bubble in the bottle, so a champagne style bubble, which is really soft on the throat, so it doesn't burn your throat. It doesn't give you bloat or indigestion in your body. And these extracts are very aromatic, and so they bring this beautiful flavor and aroma to your nose, and it tricks your brain into thinking you're drinking something sweet. And instead, there's 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 sodium in the product, which then gives people a better health and wellness choice. Maybe you're drinking a sweetened beverage like a soda or a sweetened iced tea or something like that. Now you can trade out for something that's just as flavorful and aromatic, but without the negative health consequences. And so we have 5 flavors: cherry lime, mango, lemon, lime, and natural. And in the next 30 days, we'll be releasing 3 new flavors, which will be a Valencia orange, a Persica peach, and a pink grapefruit. So we're going to continue to add in terms of our product line and give people more choice in what they're looking for.
Good deal, good deal. Talking about product line, where can folks get the water?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not in a market that carries it, you can clearly go to Amazon or go to our website and buy our product. So Azarazi.com is probably your primary choice for people all over the world that listen to your broadcast. You can go to Amazon and search for Asarasi, spelled ASARASI. You can also go to markets like the Fresh Market, 160 stores east of the Mississippi in 23 states. HEB Central Markets will be carrying our products here in the coming month. So come April, you'll find our products at 10 Central Market stores. You'll also find our products at Festival Foods in the Wisconsin market, and we continue to add to these retail base every single day. So it's an exciting growth period for our company. And if you don't find it in the retailer that you're looking for, ask them for it, and they'll be able to get it through the natural foods distributors.
All right, good deal, good deal. So what's the one thing you want folks to think about when they think about Asarasi?
I want people to think about responsible consumption, whether it's my product or anything that they consume. Whether it's making a choice to use a reusable shopping bag at the grocery store, or, instead of buying that single-use plastic bottle, buy a multi-use jug. start to think about the ways that you can make an impact in your own home and be a more responsible steward of the planet in just the simplest of ways, because those simplest ways add up to a great total. And it's the sum of the parts that, the total is greater than the sum of the parts. And if that's all we do to just make a simple impact on the world today, whether you buy my product or not, whether you, are a fan of our company or not, just be more responsible. And that's really what we sell. I tell people we don't sell a bottle of water. We sell a responsible consumption of natural water resources, and that's our mission. And it might take form in a bottle of water, but think about it from a more global mindset. That's a more powerful way to approach, consumer awareness and loyalty. So.
Wow. Absolutely. I think it's a great way to end our interview. Adam, I want to say thank you so much for spending time with us and sharing your story. Hopefully your story will inspire us all to take a look at how we can make the world a better place again for that next generation. So again, thank you.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. And it all starts with